Hey, I've done a bunch of videos with kind of progress reports or updates with where the Rooted Action Park project has been going, but I want to take a quick minute and do a video where we talk a little bit about how this project even started. So, about 27 years ago, this idea of having an indoor ramp facility became kind of my dream, and it was in 2006. I was just out of high school for a couple of years. Had started a bike shop when I was when I was junior in high school, and was selling BMX parts and T-shirts and stuff like that at local BMX tracks. Had a mail order catalog and was shipping stuff all over the world, really. And part of that project, I had built some ramps in the backyard of my parents' house. And I remember the first ramp we built. We bought some plywood and some 2x4s, and we were going to build a 6 foot tall quarter pipe. And my friends all came over and we started building, and none of us knew what we were doing. And we got that ramp all done, went to ride it, and it was the worst ramp ever. It wasn't fun to ride. It was total garbage. So we ended up tearing that ramp down and learned how to build ramps and built a 5 foot tall half pipe. And that half pipe actually became the center of what Rooted really is becoming. So that half pipe became a place where people, not only from the small town in southern Minnesota where I grew up, were coming from, but we had people from all over Minnesota and Iowa were coming to ride that ramp, skateboarders and rollerbladers and BMX riders, and people with different backgrounds, and everyone was coming together, and it was like this community was starting to develop around this ramp. And I started thinking, like, what would it look like if we had an indoor facility where we could have ramps like this, and what was happening in that backyard could grow and develop even more, because in southern Minnesota you only get a couple months out of the year where you can actually ride outdoors. The rest of the time you're fighting snow and cold. And so started working toward trying to get an indoor ramp park going there in southern Minnesota in the late 90s, and looked like we were getting some traction toward that project. And then one of the main supporters of that kind of backed out, and mostly because I was 20 years old, didn't have any money, and just had really big dreams and really didn't know what I was doing. And the risk, I think, was too much for most of the supporters. So some of the people who were going to support making that thing happen kind of backed out, and it was hard for me because this dream that I had for an indoor ramp park seemed to have been killed. It was dead. Um, but we just kind of kept pushing forward, took the ramps that I did have built and started traveling around and doing shows at town celebrations and county fairs and things like that. And that's where Chaos on Wheels came from. So Chaos on Wheels was actually born out of the failure of trying to get an indoor ramp park going in southern Minnesota. And over the years, Chaos on Wheels became one of the premier BMX teams in North America, and we toured all over the country for about a decade, doing shows all over, for little crowds of a few hundred people to huge crowds of 30 or 40,000 people, and it was a good time. But always in the back of my mind was this idea of what would it look like if we had an indoor ramp park, and and so then in 2006, I actually got the invitation to move to Joplin. So we were based out of northern Iowa at the time, and we moved Chaos on Wheels from northern Iowa and moved to Joplin, Missouri to be part of Autumn Ramp Park. And so I got the invitation to come and help run Autumn Ramp Park. And a lot of you probably grew up at Autumn, or you at least remember it. And I know that from all kinds of stories, like Autumn was really influential in a lot of people's lives. And if you're one of those people that have really positive stories, or like your life was impacted by Autumn, I'd love to hear those. So hit me up. I'd love to share those with the rest of the world, because I know that Autumn made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And then about 10 years ago, it shut down. And I thought, well, man, this dream of an indoor park is dead. And I kind of just moved on and didn't really think about it much anymore. But then about a year ago, some of the guys that were just kids at Autumn, who are now adults, we started to reconnect and hang out some, and hearing their stories about how the effort that was put into Autumn had transformed their lives, and really been a safe place for them, a place where they experienced community and felt cared for, made me realize how valuable indoor facility like that is, a place where people can come and feel safe and cared for. And so then that's where I started going back down the road of, well, what would it look like if we did something? So that's where Rooted Action Park came from. Rooted is actually an idea that's rooted in the history of Chaos on Wheels and Autumn Ramp Park. So these two things that seemed like they had died, like this is something new that's kind of growing out of the history of Chaos on Wheels and Autumn Ramp Park. And the vision for Rooted is to be a family-friendly facility. And I think if if there was a word that I was going to use to describe it, it would be hospitality. I want people to feel welcomed, and I want people to feel like they belong to something. And so, kind of what we're calling the vision of Rooted is to be an indoor action sports facility that that promotes healthy lifestyles and strengthens families. So we want a place where beginner riders who have never dropped in on a skateboard or never ridden a bike on a ramp can come and learn those basic skills for action sports. But we also want a place where expert and pro level riders can come and push each other and excel. I'd like to have a place where parents who once were involved in action sports and now have kids who are involved in action sports can come, and parents and kids can build memories and experiences together while riding the ramps together. That's kind of the vision. I want a place where it's a family, really, not just where families can come be together, but where there's a family built around the action sports. And I really do believe that participating in something like that and having a community that supports one another, we can build relationships and friendships that extend beyond just the action sports, but actually invade all areas of our lives, where we can have long lifetime relationships and friendships that started because we were riding ramps together. Kind of like that community that I first experienced in the backyard of my parents' house in that little half pipe, and then saw on a bigger scale at Autumn. I want to see something even bigger and better happen with Rooted Action Park. And so if that's something that you're excited about, I know I'm excited about it. If that's something you're excited about, you want to be part of that, bringing that here to the Southwest Missouri, would love for you to go to our website, rootedactionpark.org, and there's an opportunity there where you can donate or you can become a founding member. So right now, we're looking at about a $320,000 budget to make this facility happen, and we've already started prepping the site, and the building kit has been ordered, so all the trusses and posts and all the lumber and all the siding and all that has been ordered and is going to be delivered here in a couple weeks. And so we've already spent a bunch of money making this thing happen, and we need to raise about another $165,000 to push this thing all the way through to completion. So would love for you to go on our website and click the donate button, and any size donation helps. Would love for that. And then once we get the shell of the building up, we're going to open up for sessions to members only. So before we're actually ready for the general public and have the park all finished, we're going to start doing member only sessions. And so if you want to learn how to become a founding member to where you'd have access to the park before the general public, and also get to have a voice in what actually the park looks like and as we design it and build it out, you can become a founding member, and all that information's at our website too, at rootedactionpark.org. So yeah, if this sounds like something that's really exciting to you, you think that our community needs it, something that would be good for families and teens and kids, make sure you like this video, share it, do whatever you need to make this thing blow up on social media so we can get the word out to as many people as possible. Go to our website and make a donation. Consider becoming a founding member. Yeah, check out our website, rootedactionpark.org. Thanks for checking out this video, and thank you for your continued support. I will share more updates as they come in. Thanks.